Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me, and ultimately thank you so much for raising your presence here on my channel. I truly appreciate you stopping by and choosing me to be your entertainment for today. Alright guys, let's get into today's topic. But first, we gotta grab some of our coffee. Today's coffee is homemade with a little French vanilla twist. Scrumptious, delicious. I feel good. Today it's Christmas Eve. Happy Christmas Eve. Happy Merry Christmas to those of you if I will not see you tomorrow, but I am planning on making you see me tomorrow, okay? But anyway, I hope you're in good spirits. This year is, it's been a year, right? But nonetheless, feel grateful. Show that gratitude as much as possible because it's going to come around in abundance. Later. So you always want to make sure that you're appreciating every little moment and staying true to yourself. Alright guys, now we can get into it. Feeling exhausted because you're always giving 110%. So, what do? And this is something I can attest to, and I'm sure some of you out there are like, yeah, I'm so glad you picked this topic. But when we're natural givers, whether that's man or woman, or we're natural caretakers, and we care so much for other people, like not necessarily a people pleaser, but just wanting to make people feel how we feel genuinely. Sometimes we go overboard, especially when meeting someone new. That can come in the case of like, as soon as you meet someone, you want to tell them your whole life story, or even if you've settled into your friendship or what kind of ship it is, even if it's just family, spending time with family and always giving them a listening ear, but then when it's your time to respond, you're like, okay, da 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 da, and then afterwards you feel exhausted. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm burnt out. I have nothing else to tell you because I told you everything right off the bat. And it didn't give me time to breathe. It didn't give me time to relax in those thoughts and give me time to understand what I was feeling in those thoughts. So this is why I'm here to say, okay, what do? You want to set boundaries, not barriers. Does that make sense? Boundaries are different than barriers, of course, because boundary says, okay, hey, you get this far. Once you get to this point, don't cross it. Barriers are mostly like, when you put up brick walls, you put up this guard, you're sheltering yourself from the outside world or from the outside influence, whether that be good or bad, just because you're timid or you're skeptical of what's going to happen next, or you're not comfortable with encountering different situations. So that's the difference between boundaries and barriers. So you definitely want to set boundaries rather than barriers, because when meeting someone new or when talking to someone familiar, boundaries are good because it gives you a safe haven to keep some things to yourself. I heard it best from Oprah when she said, make some things in your life private. Whether that be, something you've been through, or something that you just want to hold on to because it's so juicy and it's so just giving to yourself and to your intuition. Leave that window open for you to breathe and for you to say, you know what, I'm not gonna go this far into how I feel or what I've gone through or what this situation is making me bring into my realistic views. So I know it's kind of confusing, but I'm going to kind of break it down for you. So for me, when I would meet someone new, whether that be a guy or a girl, I would always be like, okay, well, you want to know about me? I'm this, I'm a little bit of this, and I'm sprinkled with this. I've also been through this, and it took me this long to get to this. So sometimes that can be very overwhelming for other people, and even overwhelming for yourself. Like I said before, sometimes you just be burnt out. But it can be overwhelming for other people because they don't know how to receive all that information at one time. It's just like going through a crash course in school. and you're just listening to this man ramble for 2 to 5 minutes, and you're like, oh my gosh, like where do we go next? Where do I take this information? How do I dissect what I've been given? Because it came all in abundance, it came at once, and sometimes that energy is not reciprocated as much as you would like it to be, because they don't understand what it is that you told them. So it's good to set boundaries when you're first meeting someone, especially when you're first meeting someone. Now, as you're dealing with someone familiar, we're going to talk about, you know, of course, how to keep some things private. But when you're meeting someone new and you're getting to know them, that's the fun part about it. You're getting to know them, you're exercising those thoughts, you're exercising those views, those morals, and those values to where you can understand each other. And it's not just one person beating a dead horse, or it's not one person, you know, sharing so much where you can't find time to even listen, you know, because when you're filled with so much information, half the information will not be received. And so it'll be like you told all of that for what reason, you know, maybe. And for me, I guess the reason why I was so used to doing it all the time, again, these are habits that we just have to break naturally. But when you're so used to giving 110% all the time, it's more like you kind of forget that you're doing it. Because it's just like, this is so natural, this is my routine, and you forget to leave that window open to breathe and say, hey, like, what if I pulled back a little bit? Does that still give them enough to where they want to share with me? Does that still give them enough to where they can understand me? And, you know, setting boundaries in that way allows the friendship, or the whatever type of shit it is, to grow and to manifest into the truest, your guys' truest desires together. And it's not just a one party playing every single role. You know, I was gonna say something else, but I forget, it'll come back to me. But yeah, so it's mostly just like you kind of relax. Come in a relaxed state when you meet someone new. You know, of course, I'm not, like I said, don't put your guard all the way up. You know, have boundaries, set different roles and positions for how you want that relation or that ship to go. But at the same time, you know, leave a window open for you to get to know yourself again. Because when you're doing a routine and you're saying, oh yeah, I've been through this, I did that, whatever, then all of a sudden it's like a routine for you, and nothing is interesting enough for you to continue on this journey of growth and manifesting and change for the better. So that's a little bit on like setting boundaries when meeting new people, okay? But when you're familiar with these people and you've gotten comfortable, now how do you set those boundaries again? By saying, I want to keep some things private. I don't want to share my whole life story, because number one, is it really needed? Or number two, why can't I, you know, keep something to myself? Like, you know, cherish the gems that you keep within yourself. Cherish the, you know, special moments that are hidden yet may not need to be uncovered through every situation. So some things like, you know, what's an example? I don't know. Something that you just hold dear to you. Something that, you know, it could be something that your grandmother gave you, or it could be something that happened in your life and it was like a life-changing experience, but you don't want to go into full detail about it. Things of that sort. You want to keep things private in retrospect, to say, I don't have to share everything, number one, because it's not an obligation. When things become an obligation for you, that's when those barriers get put up and those walls get put down, and sometimes torn down and broken, and now you're shattered into a million pieces because of what was left unsaid. Keeping things private does not necessarily mean keeping a wall up. It just means that certain things don't need to be shared. Certain things are for you to help you grow. Certain things, specific moments, are to help you gather who you are and help you kind of get a sense of belonging with yourself into the world, into your spirit, your higher power, your environment. Those are the things you keep to yourself, because it's just like, not everybody needs to know every single thing about you. Some things you just gotta hold on to, because not everybody will know how to cherish them correctly. And by doing so, this is my point that I was going to make earlier, telling everybody every single thing, giving 110% can sometimes leave you disappointed, because now you're expecting another 110 to be given back, and you may only get 50. And then you're like, man, I just sat here and I told this person my whole life story. I told them everything I went through. I told them who I am, how crazy I am, how authentic I am. I tell them I'm a deep thinker. I tell them all these different things, and they tell me that they like cats, and I'm left with a dumbfounded face. Like, that's when you know, give, but also give time to receive. Okay, I also have a video for that. We're talking about giving is receiving, but in this instance, it's more so the fact that I am giving just enough. Not saying I'm shortchanging you, not saying that you won't get to know all of me, of course not, but not saying that, you know, I won't give you a chance to explore all of my sides. But I am saying I can't continue to burn out with every single new person that I meet. I can't continue to burn out with familiar people that are used to me and don't feel like they have any responsibility or accountability to, you know, feed that energy back into me. And now you're like overly pouring into yourself and overly pouring into other people, and it's a big mess. We gotta get some paper towels. It's a complete mess. Sometimes you have to pour into yourself, pause, wait a minute, gather your thoughts. Then when you have room left over, pour into someone else if it's overspilling that way. But don't just go crazy bananas and think that you can do everything and still have time to give to yourself again, because it just doesn't work. You'll be disappointed, you'll be regretful, you'll be downplaying yourself, and you just end up deceiving other people, because now you're not even telling the truth. You're telling so much of the same thing that it's almost like a lie or a facade, because it's like and I think for me, are we having a breakthrough? Hello. I think for me, it was giving 110% was a protective mechanism for me. It was like, if I tell you all of me at one time, I know myself well enough, but if you know me just a little bit more, then if you decided to do with whatever information you wanted to, it didn't matter, because I told everybody the same thing, you know. So, which is kind of strange, kind of weird, but it happens. It's normal, it's natural. But then when it comes with maturity to know that not every single time everybody needs to know everything, and because not everybody will appreciate it the way you appreciate yourself. Not everybody can give the way you give. Okay, and that goes into like different love languages and how you love versus how someone else loves. But getting back to the point, set boundaries, saying, okay, I'm gonna tell you this much, and this is not like a schedule thing, right? It's just saying, I'm gonna tell you as much as I can, but I'm not gonna give you all of me just yet, because I'm gonna leave room for you to show me who you are. I'm gonna leave room for you to show me your true colors. I'm gonna leave room for me to believe that you can believe in me. Ooh. I'm gonna leave room for you to believe that you can believe in me, because I believe in myself. Now I want to see how much of that someone else takes in. Am I speaking? Are you confused? I hope not. You're following along. You guys are great. You guys are a great audience regardless. So I know you're following along, but that's all I have for you. I hope that this video brought you some enjoyment. I hope that you were patient and kind enough to yourself to give it an ear. And I just pray and, you know, state my affirmations in the form that you guys understand who you are, so that way when you go ahead and tell someone else your life story, you know exactly what you want to tell, how much you want to share, and where you can go from there. Give it room to grow, give it room to prosper, give it room to change, you know, or evolve. Give it room to manifest. Okay, you can, if you can. And it's also another thing, a controlling thing too. As women, and sometimes in men, of course, we like to control every situation. But not every situation needs to be controlled if we can't control ourselves. Hello. You know what I mean? If we can't control our emotions, if we can't control how we feel, how can we expect to ever be in control when things get out of control? Come on now. I'm gonna wrap up this video because I'm just speaking today. But thank you guys so much for joining me and sitting down with me and having some coffee. Let's talk, you know, on this Christmas Eve. It's been a joy. It's been a pleasure for me to even come on here and speak to you guys. I am feeling so grateful and so much gratitude, and I know this year is going to end with a bang, and a good bang. And then next year, you know, is more prosperous adventures for me and for you guys as well. This channel is growing, and I'm so happy to share it with you in any way I can. If you like this video, come on, show me some support and give this video a big, huge, gigantic thumbs up. It really helps me out. The higher the ratings, the more people will see this, the more we can spread the love, the more we can spread the word, and the more we can help each other grow. Because if we're not helping each other grow, we're depleting our human race, and that is something that's sad to see in this world today. Okay, so don't forget to subscribe before you leave. I know you want to. Come on, girl, come on, boy. You know, you love me, and I love you too. So let's see each other again. Subscribe, hit that subscribe button, and I will talk to you in my next video. All right, guys, that's it. Peace.